All right, starting in five, four, three, two. Welcome one and all to the Game Is It Large, and we're on the air, getting ready to sit up here and do our thing. See who has a topic for this evening. Who wants to start off first? If not, I'll start off. Anyone? Bueller? And then there was silence. All right. Well, I'll bring it. Like I said, I want to sit up here and talk about how the
I thought we
reelection
were
of.
going to do introductions.
Oh, no, I'm jumping right in. I'm jumping right in today.
Everybody know who we are. Let's go.
Yeah, they know who we are.
Who? What? Look at the icon.
Well, if that's the case, can I start?
All right, go for it. Go for it, Nick.
I just got to say, how about that Owada, man? He
Oh,
getting
Lord.
reelected. He bringing the pain to these
Oh
fans.
no, he's dead. He died of cancer or something, and they were going to vote him out anyway. So
Oh, Lord.
I got to say something. I know in the past that I've had the words come out of my mouth and it's pissed off a lot of Nintendo fans when I said that I wished Iwata would get fired. But I can truly say right now I am damn happy that the man kept his job and that he's still in charge, because with that digital event, the E3 coverage, everything they did this year proved without a shadow of a doubt that they do care what we think. They do. He is listening to what we have to say, and he does care about the Wii U, which was my biggest fear. It was one of the reasons why I had so many up and down with it, because there was a lot of times I felt like that Iwata and Reggie and Nintendo themselves just didn't care about the Wii U, and it was because of how little coverage there was in each of the the different live events and stuff. I mean, it was mostly 3DS, only a tiny bit of Wii U, but man, that digital event, they completely rectified that situation, and I really think that right now Iwata is the best choice, and if he'll just continue to listen to all the fans of Nintendo, and if these so-called gamers out there, these people that are ragging on the Wii U and saying power this and it don't have third party, you need to realize something. Third party isn't everything, and it's the Wii U's problems is not so much Nintendo's fault as it is the gamers' fault for being so closed-minded and so closed up, so caught up in the hype. And if gamers as a whole could just relax and get over themselves a little bit and start to enjoy other things besides just shooter, then the Wii U would probably start doing a lot better, because there is a hell of a lot of great titles already on it. We're going to be dead broke come this holiday. I mean, all of us are going to be just flat feel like we've been robbed. A lot of Reggie are coming there like ninjas, like they fought on screen and just take our money from us, and really considering what that's coming from the other two consoles. Nintendo's got the best holiday coming this year compared to the other two. They've got the most titles, the best assortment of titles, and it's all because Iwata was in charge. And I think people need to recognize him for what he is, and he's a key player, and he knows what he's doing.
I basically, like I said, I agree with you, for the most part about all that, because the thing is, if you take a good look at the type of titles that they're bringing in various categories, various types. And the thing is, not everything's going to be for you. Not everything is for you that they're going to be coming out with, but the thing is, odds are they got something that's got you covered. Whether it be your dude bro shooter, whether it be your crazy action game like Bayonetta, whether it be your ridiculous hack and slash like they got in with the Zelda Hyrule Warriors, where they got that. You know what I'm saying? All these things, you're going to have your bases covered, pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming out with a sports game that'll have us covered as far as, like, another sequel to Mario Strikers. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? If they can't get... Go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing. I would say, man, we joke about it a lot with the whole "please understand" kind of thing. No, I think he's really serious about that. You really need to understand, because a lot of people are really confused about where he's coming from. People think like, oh, well, he's just there and he's making a lot of mistakes, blah 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 blah. This man cares about this company. He didn't even work with them at first, and he's been there for God knows how long as a game programmer and developer first.
He's been there since 2005.
Yeah, he's like a true programmer. He's been in the industry like almost all his life.
2005 or 2002? Which is it?
became president in 2002.
Yeah,
That's
2002
right.
he
Yeah,
made
yeah.
president.
Before
He was working
2002,
for
though, before
worked at HAL
2002 he was
Laboratories.
working. Yeah, Hal Laboratories.
yeah,
Hmm.
he was working at House. So he's been doing this all his life, man. All he's been thinking about is games, man. And all he want to do is make people happy. It's not like he has some grand scheme where, hey, we're gonna try to make as much money as we can, or we just need to skate by for these investors. He doesn't care about the investors at all.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, they know they're going to be profitable.
Hmm.
Because if they keep doing what they're doing, Nintendo's name, it basically means luck is the will and luck is the way, basically, right? So
Hmm.
if they continue, if they've been lucky all this time, obviously they don't need to change what they're doing.
Mm.
It,
Exactly. I mean, they got experiences right now that'll have you so addicted that during the middle of a podcast, you'll be on the side sitting up here getting mad that that people are sitting up here and lagging you out in the racing game. Hint, 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 hint.
Hey.
just make the good
I,
game the way they
I
like
don't
it,
know
man.
what you're
And they'll
talking
come.
about.
Hey.
Are you talking about another Forza article from IGN? I'm sorry. They do like
Can I ask y'all a question? Isn't it funny though how so many gamers today seem to have themselves conditioned that they would like to see all three systems be exactly the same?
That's
Last
boring.
time I checked, I love variety. And that's one of the reasons why I went with PC, and it's one of the reasons why as soon as I'm back to work and back on my feet and come this holiday, I'm gonna be going dead broke buying my fourth Wii U and every single game that's coming out this holiday. So, I mean, I like variety, and for me, PC and Wii U gives me that variety, but I just don't get how people sit there and they want Nintendo to be exactly the same as PlayStation, exactly the same as Microsoft. If that was the case, there's no reason to own
because they're
more than
used
one
to
system.
they're used to Sony and Microsoft trying to be like each other. Like they both conform. They conform based on
But do they not realize that that's the reason why we're at where we're at today in this industry because of the conformity of those
That's
two?
exactly what happened. Sony first conformed off Nintendo, right? They
Mhm.
conformed and took the controller and ran with it, complete with Rumble. So,
Mhm.
I mean, they did what they did, and that's fine, well and good. But now people are used to it. They tried to change it with the Sucks Axis when it first came out, and didn't nobody like the battle rate. So they put that back, and I mean, they're stuck.
Well,
They're
plus
going to
we
have the same controller for the next, like, 15, 20 years. They're
Yeah.
going to.
Mm.
Well, the funny thing about it is you got to remember, like most of us, we grew up in a time of Sega and Nintendo where they were so different, but you had to have one or the other. You couldn't just get by with having one and then you're gonna get the same thing on Sega. You're not gonna get that. When we were coming up, you wasn't gonna get that. If you had it on Nintendo,
When we were growing up, it was awesome if you owned both of them because if there was a Castlevania on Super Nintendo, there was a completely different Castlevania on Sega Genesis.
Yep.
Bloodlines, Castlevania Bloodlines for Sega Genesis is one of my all-time favorite Castlevanias because it had where you could play as multiple different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And not to take away from Sony, they brought us the wonderful Symphony of the Night. I mean, that is one of the best Castlevanias ever made.
Yep.
Mm.
This is exactly this is basically a prelude to the video I'm gonna make next week, and it's talking about the exact same thing. Like I don't understand these gamers today, and basically my video calls them plastic racists because
Basically.
it don't make any
Racist
sense
against
to
my
me.
plastic.
There's these people that I used to love Nintendo back when they had all these different games, blah 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 blah. They had all this stuff. But you know what? Even when Nintendo was quote unquote dominant, I still went out and bought a Sega Genesis. I still went out and bought a Sega Master System. I still went out and bought a Sega Saturn.
I had a,
So I don't understand
I had a
this.
Super Nintendo, I had an N64, I had a Sega Genesis, I had the 32X, never did get the Sega CD, but, back in them days, I even at one time had a Saturn, and then I eventually had the Dreamcast, which was always holds a special place in my heart.
Still got that Dreamcast.
You know what?
I wish
gotta
Sega
get
would
me
just
one,
get
for
back in
real.
and bring me my Dreamcast 2 already. I'm tired of asking for it.
You know what?
Everybody got asking for it.
I love Nintendo, but the thing is, Nintendo will never. I'm a gamer first.
Exactly.
I'm a Nintendo fan second. So Nintendo was never gonna make exactly every game I want to play, ever.
Nah,
So
because
I'm
Nintendo
always
was
gonna
my
get
first
something.
system.
I had PC, even when I had Sega and Nintendo and Sony, I still had a PC. So I'm never gonna be satisfied with just one console. So I don't understand this mentality. My console has everything I need to play on it. I don't need with this one console, and that's it. I don't understand that mentality.
You said
As
it
a
beautifully,
gamer.
T. The whole thing is, as a gamer, should have no loyalty to any particular company. It's about the games we want to play. Period.
Yeah, follow the game.
Yeah, but the problem is that a lot of these gamers today, they got these stupid code words they use. That's kitty, or
Lord.
whatever. I'm like,
Excuse me, why you
I'm
go
like-
online to play 13-year-olds in Call of
It's-
Duty?
it's like that game Dust that I just picked up, Dust the Elysium Trail. That has got colorful, beautiful graphics. It's done in a cartoon, anime style, and yet I don't think an average 5 or 6 or 7-year-old could play that game and pull off the combos like an adult could.
Dag, I mean, there's a whole bunch of games that are like that. Okay, take a good look at Pikmin 3. You tell me that game can be finished by a 5-year-old.
Hell, Super Mario Sunshine. Oh, that
There you
game's
go.
kitty. That game's kitty. Okay, one special world.
Go
Beat
100%
one.
it and show me how kitty it is.
Oh, dude, try to 100% anything with the word Mario in it.
And look, I'm not talking
Here's
about
the thing.
kids,
What's
I'm
one
talking
of
about
the
anybody.
What's one of the highest rated games that came out on PlayStation 3 from PSN? It was a PlayStation exclusive, and it was like an indie game style.
You talking about
Journey?
Journey?
Journey. One of the highest rated games. If that would have came out on Nintendo's Wii U,
Kitty.
every gamer would have just said kitty. Not because of the colors, but because it's on Nintendo's console. But see, Journey came out on PlayStation, and it's one of the highest rated, most loved games from the PlayStation Network.
And look, the
I
same thing. The
wish
same thing
Journey
happened
was
with
out on other stuff.
What's the name of that game?
That
Child
shooting
of Light.
game?
If that game came out exclusive to Wii U, it wouldn't have got no attention at all. But since it was multiplayer, it got rave reviews.
What's that PS4 exclusive shooter, space shooter? What's it called?
Oh, my favorite
Resogun,
game.
I think it's
The
Resogun,
reason I bought
right.
a PlayStation 4 version 2.
Right, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a PlayStation 4 for Resogun, and people are like, how the hell you do that? Because it is Defender on crack.
right.
Oh Lord.
But I don't see Nano or Saw Neo getting that kind of love because to me
It never did. Nobody ever recognized it.
Nano sold Neil's the business though. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how people cannot show it the love that it deserves. I mean, Shinyan, I'm telling you right now, they need to be bought
It's
up by
because,
Nintendo
like
ASAP.
Mr. T said, you got a bunch of racist plastics out
Plastic
there.
racists.
Plastic racist. Plastic racist.
Oh Lord, I'm telling you something right now. Well, we might as well say that they're that because they come up with these interesting names to call us. Weetards. Let me see what else.
Hey,
Nintendo.
Mr. T, be sure and fit in that troll butter, all right?
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
The butt paste, the butt paste with the troll.
I got something to say, right? Like, so we're in a situation where the people that we told 2 years ago that this same thing was going to happen to these other two consoles, now they're eating crow, right? So now they're stuck with no games on their platform unless they're smart like me and have games they love to play over and over again on. So now they're like, well, where's the AAA game at? Where's the AAA game at? Well, you're not going to find one that's third party. And now they're trying to understand. Well, the indies are really starting to come into their own now, and now they're making excuses for that, and completely ignoring the fact that indies had been on Wii U from the beginning. There was like 20 titles.
I bought that damn
See,
near
the
all
thing
of them.
is that the president of Sony actually came out just recently and said that not to expect AAA titles as much this generation. That indies are going to be that y'all are going to have to depend on indies because the market is not there for the budget that a AAA title would take on these massive, powerful systems.
So
it can be easily done and less expensive on a Wii U, but these third parties won't do that because then, they'll have to eat crow and realize they'll have to say that, well, we could have done it all along.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean the
those
writing is on
third
the
party
wall.
games you say the Wii U needs so bad. Where they at?
I mean the writing's on the wall with their Sony PlayStation 4 direction because they're doing exactly what Microsoft was doing last generation. They're buying exclusive content or time release content. The same thing that Microsoft was doing last generation when they didn't
Yep.
have a lot of first party.
Trying to keep that
And
lead.
believe it or not, hey, PlayStation 4 is a good system. Xbox One is a great system.
Yeah, I think they're
You
both
know,
good systems.
we're not. I just don't want people to think we're dogging them. We're not.
No,
We're
not
dogging
No,
the
game.
gamers that
it's
sit
the
there and
gamers,
talk
yeah.
smack.
It's the gamers that believe this. They like, cause okay, so the thing is, the problem isn't Sony and Microsoft themselves. They're actually doing nothing wrong. It's the people that are really sitting here and are basically defending them any way they can. You know, and we're crazy for quote unquote either defending or not jumping on the bandwagon of the popular thing, which is to diss Nintendo. So they use everything they can to defend their stupid ass reasoning instead of just liking all the games. Oh, I'm just a Sony guy, or I'm just a Microsoft guy, or I like everything but Nintendo guy. Like a
I've
lot of
seen
people are.
I've seen people go out of their way to sit up here and do unboxings with children to sit up here and call Nintendo kitty. Unboxings with children.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Exactly. I mean, and then try to use that as some type of justification of their view. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, the game in question that the unboxing was about is not one that little kid could finish.
No.
Exactly. I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean,
No.
to me, that was just bad parenting right there.
That's what you call That's what you call an insecure vagina right there.
You
That's
control your kid. You can't
Exactly.
beat this game.
I mean, you putting your child out there in front of a bunch of trolls. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't put my granddaughter on cam. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? She's a little kid. You don't do that.
No.
But like I said, people just don't get it. All just to sit up here and troll, to at least not even troll. It's to flame a daggone user base.
I mean, he's just too insecure to admit that he liked the damn game itself instead of.
Exactly.
That's what I don't understand.
Be a man. I held my copy of Pikmin 3 with pride. I was like, damn it, I own this game.
Hey, look,
The real issue we have
I'm a
here.
grown ass man, and I dare anybody stand in my face and say I'm not a grown ass man.
Okay.
I love Wreck-It Ralph. That's a good ass movie.
There you go.
That's a great film.
Okay.
Shoot,
Hell
let
yeah.
me tell you something
But
right
what
now,
I'm saying
man.
is- you guys let me talk, Devin.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I was trying to say is that I think the bigger problem is that a lot of the gamers are narrowing themselves nowadays. They seem to stick into certain categories, and I don't know how this came about. Like they got brainwashed, but like I talk to a lot of my friends that do games still, and every title they brought up is always either a sports game or a shooter or like zombie games, stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't play anything else? Like, I play other games. Okay, what other games do you play? I play Resident Evil sometimes. Okay, what else do you play? Battlefront. Okay, what else do you play? Sometimes I play Killzone. Okay, what else do you play? And like, I'm hearing the same titles again and again and again. What happened to people wanting to try different things?
That's why I like the old days back over there, the SNES days with games like Young Merlin and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't actually in a particular genre. It just had like a feel all to its own. You know what I'm saying? And they need to bring that back. Games where you sit up here and they don't have any type of set genre that you can sit up here and categorize them in. You
I
know?
just want to quickly throw an analogy out there because it seems like, especially being a Nintendo fan, it's something wrong with that. Just to throw an analogy out there, I'm a fan of the New York Giants. I'm a homer, so that's my home, New York. And I'm also a fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I went to school there for a long time. I became a fan of them as well. But even though those are my first two teams, I'm still a fan of the NFL. I still watch other NFL games and enjoy myself. So why can't that translate to video games?
Exactly. And the thing,
It doesn't make any sense to me.
you know what it is? It's that the people that in question that are doing these things just want to sit and fill a niche, feel a part of a group. You know what I'm saying? Wear a color, as it were. You know what I'm saying? And bang hard for the color. That's how they sit up here and act. They act like they're stuck on the streets arguing over sneakers.
Mhm.
And by the way, being a fan of those teams, or just again to pertain to video games, I will occasionally damage control for my Giants. I
Well,
will
you
do
got
that.
to. You got to.
In my
You
Yeah,
Knicks,
but
fly a little
in my
slow.
Knicks as well.
it's like high school cliquish shit, man. Like
Exactly. Exactly.
Stop trying to fit in and be yourself, goddammit.
There you go.
Uh,
I mean,
like there's probably games that there's probably game in this group of us, right? There's probably games you guys love that I probably gonna absolutely hate, but that don't make us any different.
right.
That
I
don't make
mean-
us all of a sudden now I gotta hate all of y'all because there's a game I don't like that y'all play. Come on, man.
I mean, when's the last time you went to a GameStop or a Best Buy or something and swung at somebody just because they sat up there and liked Assassin's Creed?
See?
See what I'm saying? I don't see the sense in acting like that. And these people, they act like they get so mad. I mean, actually, like, virulent mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, like they're about to Hulk smash all over the place over over a damn game. And it doesn't
And they're
make
the
any
people
sense.
I like to piss off because I
Oh,
care.
Lord. That's easy to piss them off.
That's so easy.
All you got to do is just call them on their nonsense and they get mad. You don't even have to curse. You don't have to sit up here and make any type of, comment that's off color or nothing. It just takes very little to provoke them. You could just basically say, I'm looking forward to the next Mario Brothers. That's all you got to do is just say that. That's enough to tick them off.
Or in my case, all you gotta do is make a damn video.
Oh, Lord.
And they upset.
Oh, Lord. That's all you have to do is just speak, Mrs. T. That's all you got to do.
Any video.
Exactly.
I could put a damn trailer up. I got crying in the comments.
I got a little bit of a GameStop story for this one. Back in November, I walked into a GameStop trying to find Call of Duty Ghosts for the Wii U because apparently no one in my town had it. So I walked in, and there was the dude behind the counter, and there was a dude at the counter wearing a Battlefield t-shirt for Xbox, trying to buy a copy for the Xbox 360. And I walk up, and like they're bad-mouthing Call of Duty. And I walk up, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for Call of Duty for the Wii U. And like the customer, I watched him just like twitch, just staring at me.
You know what kills me though is
I would love to see his
half the
face.
time those guys don't even know how to do their job. Like they don't even know where the Wii games are.
Oh,
You're
Lord.
supposed to know where everything in
They
the
shove
store
them all
is.
in the back of the store, out
Mhm.
of the way. If you look for an M-rated game, it's probably at the top somewhere. You gotta be like 9 feet tall to reach it.
Yeah, and this ain't nothing new. It's been this way since at least N64. I remember.
Yeah, since Nintendo World was gone. Because
Right.
remember when you went to a department store or something and they had Nintendo World
Mhm.
and they had all their stuff set up and they had displays and everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
they don't do that no more. You lucky if you see it at a Walmart.
Mm. And, like I said, people act like Nintendo doesn't exist. I mean, they mix up the Wii games with the Wii U games and act like it's the same thing.
What's the problem?
I mean, for example, try to get a copy of Epic Mickey 2. Odds are you'll end up with the Wii version.
I wouldn't get it if I was you anyway.
Oh, I already know. I heard bad stuff about it, even though they said the controls were actually easier on the Wii version versus the Wii U one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a shame what happened with the with the Wii U version.
The eyes got too big instead of, that's what happened. They chased that multiplat, and then it bankrupted that studio.
And it's a shame because that game, the first one, I actually liked it, even though it had bad camera control and everything. I liked it for what it was.
Yeah, it had
That's
its
what
issues,
happens
but it was
when
still
you
a really
make
good
a game for a platform.
Mm.
It tends to turn out okay.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is, look at what they did with delaying Rayman Legends. You know, that game, for example, basically cannibalized itself. They could have
Yes.
put up there and just brought it out on the Wii U when they had intended it, and then make a big fan patch at the same time when the other ones were going to get released and call it a day, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
You would have sold 1 million copies on Wii U alone
Mm-hmm.
because there was nothing. There was nothing out there
exactly
when that
Exactly.
game was supposed to come out. So,
I mean, yeah, look at how many copies Mario Kart sold, and yeah, people are gonna say, oh well, that's a Mario game on a Nintendo platform. No, the thing is, if you basically release it when there's a lull and really back up, the game with some advertising, you're gonna sit up here and get your money back.
yeah. I mean, there was a ton of hype for that game. People were talking about buying Wii U's for that game. I remember. People forget that, but I remember people saying that. There was a lot for that game.
Exactly, and it's just a shame that there are a lot of these companies out there. They're playing little games like what's going on with Microsoft now. Like I said, with Pierce Solar. How they're sitting up here and delaying games just because it doesn't please them, and knowing that they have some type of agreement that it cannot be released on any other platform prior to theirs.
Yeah.
They play little games, and that's one thing I don't like.
Because that hurts the whole industry.
Exactly. I mean, these indie guys, they're hungry. They want to sit up here and put out their games to a big market. They want to sit up here and grow their studios, and they can't do that with the big dogs playing these little games with them.
Mm.
That's one thing that I find really bad. That way of practice that then needs to be eliminated. That's right, Microsoft. I'm looking at you.
That has to go.
Not straight.
Alrighty. So that was a really deep topic right there.
Pretty good, huh?
It sucked the air out the room.
Everybody's on mute. What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. Oh Lord. But anywho, what do you guys think so far as the indie scene? How it's been like bringing out games left and right. You even got big studios putting out small scale games like Ubisoft with their Ubi framework.
Yeah, I hope to see more of that. I mean, you obviously know Mr. T is indie dependent, so I love what the indies are doing. I've always indie movements in any industry to me is great because, like I said, they come up with a lot of great ideas, and their limitations breed the creativity. Because I believe that. You get more creative when you don't have all the resources to do what you want to do. That's just how it is. If you're a creative person, if you're a creative studio.
That's how movies like District 9 come out.
Exactly, District 9. I mean, what was that, a $10 million budget?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the movie made like $200 million. I mean, and it was, it was just it was just a fresh take on a sci-fi. It was just a really good movie. And, that's the thing that we need the flourishing indie industry to keep these big guys on their toes, because they resting on their laurels. You're gonna have those yearly releases that are basically mods to their last game. So we need the guys that are gonna do things fresh and new and keep the industry moving forward.
You see, this is why now that I'm at a high school and everything, now I'm gonna start going to for classes and stuff like this for game development, all this, because trust me, I got ideas myself, and I plan on having my own little indie studio, my own little studio there, going in and making games, and I really am liking the way that the indies are going. They're coming up with these games that no one ever thought of before. I never would have guessed No Man's Sky, right? Holy God. We all know that, right? And it was only made by what, 4 people? 4 people, and yet you got that. But when you get a whole team of let's say 500 people, you get Battlefield Hardline.
Right.
So that's why
this isn't to rag on the big guys, because it's not their fault all the time, because when you're in a system, you end up doing things systematically. And that kind of kills, it inadvertently kills creativity.
Yeah,
so,
and I especially do not like it when, let's say, the publisher, right, the one who publishes the game, is just giving the money to the developers, right? So they're the ones that are like, no, you have to change this and this and this and this, and then we'll give you the money. I'm just like, no, that's not supposed to happen. You let them give out the game that they want to bring out. Because it's their idea. You don't just go. I mean, I understand they do, but you don't just go in and it's just oh, change this, change this, change this. Like what's going on.
Publishers aren't creative people. They're not. They're the money people. They read market research, and that's all they really care about. So they're they have the money though, so they have all the control as far as the content that gets put out there. But that's why we need these indie dudes. And I'm sure you all know I'm an indie filmmaker myself. So there's just something really inspiring about being free. Basically, you're basically free to do something on your own without somebody saying you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. There's just a lot of that. That's just a really cool thing to be able to have.
Hey, Mr. T.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I would like to see is you, for example, make a visual novel.
I actually thought about it because you've been talking about it a lot lately.
I think you've got the skills to pay the bills to do it, be honest with you. And the thing is, there's a lot of people out here who can lend some vocal work for you, You know what I'm saying? And there's a community out here that's rich with, that you could just put it out for free just to show what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I have I shot a feature film a couple years ago, and I wanted to turn it into a comic book. And I was thinking about doing a visual novel to show to studios and publishers, so they can get a feel of it. So yeah, I mean that's a route I've actually been thinking about, but I don't want to turn this into about being me. But
No.
yeah, I know what you're
But
saying.
the thing is, there's talent in the community, and there's a lot of people out here. You see that they put all their efforts into their videos on YouTube. They show so much potential out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them have good comic timing. Other ones can sit up here and show very good dramatic depth. Other ones, they know how to get under your skin.
Right.
And these people, if they use their talents and they use their wits, they could actually come up with something for gaming as a whole.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That would be entertaining, something that would be deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I just
saying?
want to say because that's a misconception about Mr. T. Like, I have my YouTube show, but I do a ton of stuff off of YouTube. A lot of things in the background that I've been doing since I was in school. So don't think, my creativity ends with Mr. T show. I just want to say that to some of the fools out there. Oh, why aren't you going to film festivals? I am. I do my thing. So don't worry about that part. But yeah, that's a great thing I've actually been thinking about because of what you said. You've been saying a lot about the graphic novel thing lately, and it got me thinking. That's a route I should probably think about. So,
Yeah, and the thing is, I would like to see that as a whole, become some type of movement. I would love to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah. All right.
And everybody's quiet again.
You're sitting there playing Peggle. I apologize.
I mean,
Okay.
Of course, if you need a hand with writing talents, I'm always available.
But of course,
There you
Mr.
go.
Butterworth.
hey, voice work, I'm always up for it.
There you go.
And you need someone to drag you down and get paid for doing it. I'm your man.
Well, like I said, though, see what I'm saying? It'll grow on its own. You'll be able to have a cast and whatever. And you can see competing projects come out, This community, I'm like this. If they so much want to see such good games and whatever, and they got the talent to pull it off, why not sit up here and do it yourselves then?
Go out there and make it happen.
There you go.
Well, our boy Games is gonna do that, right, Games?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
he's definitely gonna.
I'm definitely, trust me, I'm planning to have this nice good. I got to start small, of course, but I'm planning to start when the years go by. I'm planning to start this because I have this idea for a massive MMO. It's gonna be crazy. It's like I have an idea for an MMO that it's not really supposed to be an MMO, but yeah, it's gonna be. It's just it's like a mix of many different genres. So.
I have a similar thing myself. It's based on a book I was writing when I was in high school.
Yeah, so I really do plan on doing a lot, and anytime, give it whatever.
We
So,
gonna link up and make it happen. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna really make it happen. Any writers, anybody can come in because I would like to have writers. 'Cause I'm not good with
Well,
really.
I'm not on
Stevens.
Jamie's level, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah, me and Mr. Butterworth, and now you got
Shooting.
Just say Shep. It's easier.
All right, chef.
I wasn't sure who that was. My sound went out for a minute.
But yeah, trust me, it's really gonna be. I cannot. I just can't wait, man. It's
Look,
really. I can't wait.
Games, you and I should have a talk after this podcast.
Oh, definitely.
Well, unbeknownst to most people, Shadow Fox is a comic book character that I made in 1994.
Look at all this talent we got here. All this talent up in here.
Yeah, there you go.
Trust me,
I'm
I even plan on voice acting for my own game. My
I
own
think
game.
Gamers at Large should be a game making company one day, a developer.
Hey, who knows? You never know. It could turn out that way.
Just
You know what
right.
I'm saying? It could be. Stranger
Yeah.
things have happened.
It's
You
crazy.
never know where the game at large might go.
Yeah, I know.
No, but in all seriousness, though, I would like I said, I would love to see other groups do this. You know what I'm saying? Other little cliques in YouTube, as I refer to them, sit up here and just show their worth. You know what I'm saying? And show what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Entertain the masses in a way where they can really bring out something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just arguing with each other all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I see a lot of these clicks, and I see a lot of them. They have a lot of potential to bring out something good as far as gaming's concerned, something for the betterment of gaming as a whole. But they rather sit up here and argue.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
Yeah, but like I said, give it time. It might change.
Hmm.
But I don't expect us to sit up here and go PewDiePie level or nothing like that. But
Oh, no.
Beauty,
Remember,
man.
remember, the thing is, I bet the thing is, many people are out there are better than him, and they're just not given the chance. But I'm
Luck,
gonna say,
luck is a factor.
yeah, luck is
Circumstance.
a big factor. That I don't think
Mm.
4 million is like a main thing. No, that's freaking luck. But
Mhm.
I just gotta say, but anyway, good job to him at least. But but things can always many people, their talents will always, grow bigger throughout the years, and
Mhm.
they might even find a bigger opportunity more than just YouTube. They
True
might
enough.
because YouTube, trust me, you got shows like probably America's Got Talent. You got shows like basically that. Because
Mhm.
you show off your talent, and probably people see you on TV, those big huge guys in Hollywood and movies and stuff, right? Or Vegas shows, and they call you up. So
Mhm.
it's the same thing with YouTube. You can show off your talent, you can show off what you do, and trust me, there's people out there that are watching every single day to see
Mm.
who they can bring in. So
I mean, one guy's like that. I've seen one independent dude, M. Dot Strange, who did that. We Are the Strange. You ever seen that?
yeah,
I
actually,
mean, that was a very trippy video, and it was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And he
I
made a little
actually
money off of that.
I actually have someone from my school that graduated 2 years ago, when I was like sophomore, and now he works for Cartoon Network.
Oh wow.
Yep, now he does animation and stuff.
Oh,
So it's really, I'm telling you, people can find the talent.
exactly. I mean, I just wish that in some places also it's got to be also a location because look
Hmm.
at the place. A lot of voice actors come from Texas.
Oh yeah.
A lot of voice actors that you see that do anime, that do like the localization of anime into English are from Texas. Ironically.
Who
You know what I'm
cares
saying?
Yeah,
about
family.
The
Dumbo?
place that you wouldn't expect. You know what I'm saying? You'd think they'd be in Hollywood somewhere, be it Hollywood, Florida, or Hollywood, California, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But no,
Yeah.
instead they're in Texas. Doing like Brittany Karbowski, one of my favorite voice actresses. She actually started off basically being seen doing Rocky Horror Picture Show as Janet. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? In local theater, and that's how she got picked up for voice acting in
Wow.
local theater over there in Texas. So I mean,
Interesting.
and that's a lot of them. A lot of them come from there. A lot of the good voice actors you hear that do DBZ and stuff like that, all from Texas.
That's pretty cool.
That is
I had no
true.
idea.
Yeah, like I said,
And
I'm into anime, so.
and people listening to gamers at large, you can learn a lot about life.
Ain't that the truth? Oh Lord.
All right, next topic.
Okay, and next up, what do you guys think about the current situation with all these shooters that are basically sucking the life out of everybody? You know what I'm saying? With the rinse, wash, repeat shooters.
We
We touched on it before, but I'm
Yeah.
saying I think we should really dig into this topic.
Yeah, I
I just-
mean, you saw the
yeah.
picture that I posted on Google Plus some months back, where it was literally just a picture. It was three pictures stacked on top of each other, and you couldn't tell the difference between the three games. But they were three completely different games by three completely different developers, and they were all had a gun pointing directly in front of you, and you could not see the hand. It was just a gun. And there was a scope and there was a counter as far as how much ammo you had left, just like Halo on the gun.
Like I said, after a while, it's to sit up here and there's copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. That's what's been going on too much. A lot of them having to bring something different to the fore. Like I would like to see Valve Software bring out that portal gun and integrate it into the Half-Life universe. You know what I'm saying? And then have that come into play in multiplayer. Can you imagine that?
I'll play Geist again. I don't care.
I'm
I'll
just
play
telling
something
you.
different.
Like I said, you need something that screams, way different. Like, System Shock's upgrade and deterioration system that they have for the weapons. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Bring something to the fore, that shakes it up, that makes it unique unto itself instead of sitting up here and being, oh, me too. You know what I'm saying, for the year. That's the only thing I can't stand about shooters. They just become too, like I said, stagnant, too, retread.
You
You know
know
what I'm
what? They need to make a shooter that you can't shoot. You can do everything but have a gun.
saying? Well,
That would be different.
Portal.
Well, that wouldn't
Portal,
be a
yeah,
shooter,
Portal.
now would it?
Well, you can
Exactly.
still
Portal.
shoot in Portal, kind of.
Okay, let's say a first-person game then, without the gun.
Exactly.
You have to find ways to
Mirror's
survive.
Edge.
Mirror's Edge. There you go. Stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yep. We need more of
Shake it up.
those.
Mirror's Edge has it where you can pick up a gun in it ever so often.
Yeah, you can.
Well, that's fine.
But the
Small amounts
majority
of
of the game
gunplay
is
is
free
fine.
running.
But
Yeah.
it's not the main focus. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Right.
I mean, it's not. I'm not knocking shooters for what they are as a genre. People like them, so what? Go ahead, go for it. But the thing is, if after a while all they do is year after year make sequels, after a while it's gonna sit up here and take a strain on their ability to produce a high quality game. They're gonna start sitting up here and rehashing certain elements from previous games.
Which is why Devil Thirds caught my attention.
I mean, let's be honest. The shooters
Oh,
are.
it caught your attention? Didn't everybody stop talking about that once it got
Yeah.
announced for Wii U?
It
I'm sorry.
was just like, yeah. It sucks. Pull it.
3 out of 2.
Them graphics.
the graphics though.
Even though they look the same the entire time, they
Right.
never change.
Oh Lord, but like I said though, that's just pretty much how it is with people like that. They rather see those retreads. I mean, I'll even talk about Assassin's Creed. I mean that game is just retreading itself upon retreading itself upon retreading itself, coming out with now what 2 at a time. That's crazy.
That's
How many
nuts.
neck stabs can you do in every game, dude? How many more? How much? Just tell me. I'm like getting sick and tired of Assassin's Creed now because I used to play it every single time up till 3. Actually, no, 4. Now I'm just like because 3, Connor. We all know that. But 4, I played it, and I'm just like, all right, this is kind of cool. And then now they're just like milking, like milking the cow hard, man. I don't know.
But things chafing.
Shooters
Yeah.
are the easiest games to make. I mean, let's just put it out there. That's why we got so many of them. You got these engines that are optimized to make shooters on.
Mhm.
And the thing is, the reason is because there are not that many mechanics in a shooter. You
Mhm.
shoot, you run, you change your guns, you shoot, you run, and you change your gun. I mean, that's pretty much the main gist of them. You don't have to you don't have to do stuff that you do in say even Deus Ex, where you're reading the news and you're doing all these different, all this integrated stuff with the what do you call it, the hacking mechanics and all that. So, I mean, that's the reason you just have a lot of these straightforward shooters because they're easy to mass produce.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. One game I wish would live up to its hype, which unfortunately it didn't, from what I've been hearing, and that would be Watch Dogs.
Mm.
Because Watch Dogs, it seems like it hasn't quite lived up to the expectations of a lot of the gamers, and I don't know if they're just being too harsh on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't had the opportunity to play it myself. Have any of you?
No, my
I
friend
did.
raves about it. He says it's a great game.
I've seen gameplay of it, and it just doesn't. It ain't doing it for me. Like I was really hyped for the game from that first trailer,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
subsequently I've gotten less and less hype, and then the game comes out and nobody's really praising it.
I played it at my friend's house, right? I go over, I play it. It's kind of good. It's kind of neat that you can hack stuff and all that, but it really does get repetitive at a point where you're just like, okay, so I just need to press square every time. Okay, look, I have to check on these people. It's just basically the same thing redone in the game. It's not really anything, that you would be doing. It's basically, okay, you check up on people, okay, you hack the city, whatever, you black it out, stuff like that.
Oh, and here's the thing: the one thing that I was really expecting to be really good, the story apparently is pretty meh.
Oh no, the story is
That was the
horrible.
main thing I thought was going to be good.
That's what that was the main thing I thought was gonna really draw me into the game was the story, and it doesn't seem like people are too happy with it.
Well, I'm just hoping they could do something to clean it up because, for example, if the people that did The Witcher 2 can clean up the 3rd act and sit up here and expand upon it to make a game and made it a free update, you know what I'm saying? and do that to kind of sit up here and make it up to the fans when they drop the ball. I mean, I don't see any reason why they can't do that. Oh yeah, I forgot they're greedy.
Yeah, Ubisoft ain't doing that.
They're too greedy, man. They're not CD Project Red or nothing. Oh Lord, I mean that's basically it in a nutshell. They're just greedy. They need to sit up here and just get back to their roots of gaming. You know what I'm saying? Where you want to sit up here and have somebody enjoy what they bought, not just buy it for the sake of buying it. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, that's what's going to happen. People are just going to be buying games to be buying them, and after a while, they'll be like, "What's the point?" Next thing you know, they go into tablet gaming.
It's a factory. It's become a factory, especially with Ubisoft, because they basically have an assembly line. You know, so I mean, when you have not, you know, when you have a bunch of people, you have 500 people, 900 people working on the same game series for 5-10 years, they lose their creative spark. You know, they lose their creativity. And it's just, man, put it out, okay, just add this and make it a little different and put that out. And the game, it shows through the game what's going on with it. The process of it being made will show through the game.
And like I said, though, Ubisoft can pull themselves out of this little gutter because Child of Light is an example of that. I would bought Child of Light, and they showed a lot of potential there, and it kind of makes me wonder what they're gonna do with that World War I epic that they got coming out that's using the same engine. I don't know the name of it, but they're coming up with a World War I game, and it looks really interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's a very unique visual approach that they're using. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, they could come up with new things, and I mean, even with like I said, Nintendo, they're coming out with something different, like that claymation version of Kirby.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty. They actually intentionally slowed the frame rate in order to make it look like, one of those Wallace and Gromit films.
Kind of stop motion deals. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty interesting that they take that approach and try to sit up here and use that to engage the player. You know what I'm saying? They almost said consumer.
I mean, that's what I said. I said in my video is that that's one of the things that stood out about me for Nintendo is that they were really, going, out there with the art design of their games. And obviously Kirby's one of them, and then obviously Zelda, which was gorgeous. So. I feel like that's what you get. Like, even the Splatoon guys, you could tell those guys were having fun making that game, and they had creative freedom. Nintendo didn't force Mario on them. They didn't say you gotta make this Mario Splatoon or Mario Paintball or whatever.
And were they the same guys that worked on Animal Crossing?
The same guys that worked on Animal Crossing.
I mean, you don't even see Animal Crossing in there.
It's totally nothing like it. So,
I mean, that to me, if they had like their little mini studios within Nintendo, do that same thing. Find something fresh and new that each one can individually do and bring to the fore. I mean, be honest with you, they could easily, feasibly come up with their own games that could basically supplement their lack of third party.
Yeah. That's what I want them to do. I want them to just, show they can. I mean, they can show the industry. Well, we don't need you.
They kind of have been though, because even if you look at all their exclusive titles, every last one of them for the most part has been different in the mainline, with the exception of New Super Mario Bros. I mean, every 3D Mario incarnation is different, with the exception of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, because 2 was a direct sequel.
Right.
I mean, even then, it still played a little bit different than Galaxy did. Like, the worlds were laid out differently, and there were different things you did, different types of taskings that you did in the second game versus the first one. So you can't even really ever compare them two together, unlike, say, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. There's when I just really find it difficult when somebody says Nintendo rehashes stuff and then continue to champion Assassin's Creed 1 through 7.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, they obviously aren't playing those games.
It's like, hey, here's more levels. they know what they're doing, right? They're going to make different games, and they're going to make them the way that they want to. Now, if that so happens to be, hey, we think Mario will fit in this game better, then that's what they're going to do, because they don't make their games with characters in them to begin with anyway. They start with abstract, daggone placeholder stuff, and if it works, it works.
Yep.
So it would not surprise me if the Star Fox game that Nintendo was working on, if it somehow played drastically different, that it wouldn't be a Star Fox game. It would not
I
surprise
actually
me.
expect that. I actually expect that's what's going to happen, to some degree.
So there are certain things they understand, that there are certain things they come to expect. When it comes to a certain franchise, so if they change it too drastically, then yeah, they'll either have to do a lot of explaining, or they'll have to use a different character, which is I think that what they're doing with Splatoon. They can't be Super Mario Sunshine Blasters. No, really.
Oh Lord, I'm glad they didn't go that route with Splatoon, because I just like Splatoon for what it is.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got attitude. It's you know what I'm saying. It's decent art style.
I love that game because it really changes. They're really trying to change the way the shooting genre is being looked at.
No
this
blood.
Is why, no blood. Well, if you want to count the red ink as blood or the pink, I don't know. Those hardcore guys, right? The hardcore. But it was. It was really. When I first saw it, I was just like, okay, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then I see it, I'm just like. And then the developers explained it more. I'm just like, wow.
Before the developers explained it more, the first time, I want to say the end of that trailer, when I saw somebody jump off a platform into their own goo, and the time they did that, they turned into the squid and flew across the state. I said, okay, I understand.
You see,
I understand
I like
perfectly
that.
now.
You see, I like that for the fact that it just builds more strategy into it.
Right.
Yes, you're gonna have some stupid campers or something like that if you guys want to solve that. But at the same time, it really does add strategy. Because, well, actually, I don't think you can camp, because either way, if you're hiding on the wall, if you're just hiding on the wall or something, or hiding in the ground, somebody squirts ink at you, you're done. So
yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a very new take on Unreal Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So, Unreal Tournament is all about the multiplayer, all about the kills or whatever. And it gets stupid in later versions of the game. Like, you start end up like doing all kind of crazy stuff. So, I mean, it just seems like Nintendo took that formula and they're like, hey, this is what we're going to do with it. And we're going to make it fast, we're going to make it streamlined and go from there.
Exactly, because the way that they made it is perfect. You have two things you have to worry about.
It's
First,
not about kills.
It's not about kills. You have to worry about your whole area, right? And you have to make sure every single part of whatever area that you're trying to claim is full of ink and nobody else's ink. You have to really strategize everything.
And the thing is, there's going to be a single-player element too. They mentioned. Now,
what?
I'm wondering how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by that.
Because the thing is, I really want to know if like probably there's like some thing with the Inklings, or I don't know, they're all or they're fighting another, it's just like 4 like different kind of colored Inklings probably, and they're trying to like claim territory around. I don't know. So
there's no telling what direction they're going to take this in. I can imagine the single player element, how it's going to go. And I can see it also kind of sitting up here conditioning you to come up with new ways, new strategies for the multiplayer.
Yep. Right. And the thing is, hopefully with because I know they're smart with DLC. They're probably going to either update the game, like they usually do with like Wii Sports Club and most of the other titles, and add those things on there, or they're just gonna release it to us for free or for a price. And I really like the way that they're thinking. Yes, voice chat is needed, so put that in there, because that is really a cooperative game with your teammates. You really have to speak. You have to be like, oh, guys, we have to go, to the upper route because it's, they're taking over that part. So, you have
somebody guard the choke point, blah, 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 et cetera, and whatnot. Decide who's on point, who's going to sit up here and do the scouting,
And that's something you do not see. I like when every single time I see them on stage at E3, they're like, "Guys, go over here. All right, Commander." Yeah, I'm just like, give me a break. No one does that online. Like, no one does that online.
That's a shame.
Nobody does it
That's a
online.
shame. That's a shame when they don't do that. That's how you can tell who's really in it for the game and who's not. Right?
That's
You
the
know what I'm saying?
thing. You see, this is a game where you have to work cooperatively. In the other one, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, no, you basically just go by yourself.
Yeah,
By
it's,
yourself anyway.
in Battlefield, and even like the Division, right? They tried to sell it or whatever, right? This is what it's gonna be like. You join the game, welcome nubs. Go this way. No, go this way. Everybody's trying to tell each other what to do. Go this way. No, you go this way. No, you.
No chain of command. No type of chain of command. No type of use of suppressive fire. No type of use of cover. Nothing. Just running around and gunning. Running around and gunning with sniper rifles.
Yeah, basically. I no scoped you. Yes, after you got killed 35,000 times, you finally got a lucky shot in.
Oh
Congrats.
Lord. Oh.
Yo, but they're claimed. But the thing is, if you do that, you're claimed a beast. You don't understand that.
Oh Lord. But like I said though, this is why gaming needs to be changed. Like I said,
Yeah.
it needs to bring back the fun. You know.
And that's what I really think Splatoon is bringing back. You know, it really is, because that just looks like pure. Whenever I kept seeing them just going back and playing it over and over, I'm just like, I want to play this. Just give me the demo on the eShop. Just give me it already. I just like, give me a beta or something. To, like, give that to us so that we, we can at least note problems or something like that and have fun with the game. Because
Exactly.
that game, I just really want to play it. It looks so much fun.
Well,
I'm
to
gonna be
them,
on that
I
game
think,
for hours.
I think that was their beta. That's their E3 was their feedback. They probably didn't want to do mass, hey, here's our really souped up alpha, kind of deal. So, I feel if they were going to do that, they would do it. They would already have that in place. They already have it in mind, like for certain types of games. But to me, I don't really think they have a type of game that will really fit that bill, because they don't. When Nintendo does an MMO, then they'll probably do an open beta.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I'm wondering if they could do this. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Nintendo, come on, sorry.
I really think that they should do this. I don't know. Probably it would be fun if next year, if they still have it, being shown at E3 with the multiplayer and everything, right? And here they can put it on the eShop, right? For us to play for like 3 days, right? As long as the show goes on, and we will be versing the people that are playing it at E3. Like they put that thing online. That would be actually really nice. So it's just like, okay, now we have this open, kind of, demo, basically online demo that you guys can play with the people at E3. So you never know if you're gonna be playing with, you never know, like Shigeru, like Miyamoto or Iwata or Reggie.
I actually think that game's going to be out before E3. I think it's going to be out in March or so.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, but I'm thinking that too, but if they don't have that, within that time, right, and they're like waiting for like a holiday release or around September, that would actually be a kind of a cool idea.
I think Zelda's going to pretty much destroy everything.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, man, that Zelda.
And don't forget about Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's coming too.
Oh my God! Because all right, I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm gonna have to buy 2 Wii U's for that. I'm gonna have to buy 2 Wii U's. I'm gonna play them simultaneously.
Oh Lord.
Let me just ask a quick question about Splatoon to everybody. I feel like Splatoon is part of Nintendo being more self-aware, like knowing what's going on, because we had no idea. Like that stupid rumored list was out there, and we should do something about talking about those rumors, pre-E3 rumors that get smashed, and nobody talks about them after E3's over. But before E3, there's all this talk about these rumors. Oh, look at this obviously fake list of Nintendo games that's coming out with this huge Nintendo font at the top.
Because that Mario Maker was there.
That was there, but there was rumors about Mario Maker though. Am I wrong about that?
Last minute.
Before that paper came out. Before that.
Yeah, it was like real last minute.
Yeah, but okay, let me just finish this though. But about Splatoon, do you think, because for me, they put Splatoon, basically that was the last game they showed on the digital event, besides coming back around to Smash Brothers. That was the last game they showed. You think they were making a point to say, this is a big game for us. We know this. Even though you had no idea this game was coming, we as Nintendo knew that you would love this game.
That's a good point because they usually put the beginning and the end are usually the two most important games.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And last time they thought that was gonna be Nintendo Land. But then
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Nintendo Land. Like I said, if they had
People hate
online
on that game.
multiplayer,
That's much
if,
better.
if they had online multiplayer and online, co-op
yeah,
in
they could have
particular,
been.
it could have been a serious system seller.
Oh hell yes, that game! I would love to play Nintendo Land with you guys and other people online.
Yeah, of course. And don't get me wrong, I love Nintendo Land. I think it's a great game, but it would have been even better. It'd have been awesome had it been online.
Especially the Metroid
yes.
experience.
And the Metroid, I mean, that's.
Oh
yeah.
hell yes! Oh my god! Oof.
I'd pay $10 right now if they wanted to release an online version of that or something.
Mm-hmm.
I need to send in an online patch or something to that game.
Something.
They need to sit up here and do something with that because I'm telling you right now, or if not, come up with a decent sequel.
A sequel, yeah.
A sequel that's like really, really, really into it for multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? Online and offline. Where
Sorry, go ahead.
a good example of that would be like, okay, how I mentioned as far as drop in, drop out. What's that game? Damn. Trying to remember the name of it. It's a real horrible game, but I ended up playing it anyway. It's a zombie game. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Is it Dead Island?
There you go.
Oh, Dead Island.
Dead Island. If they had the drop in, drop out co-op like that, you know what I'm saying, where you could just drop in, drop out seamlessly. That's one of the good things that game did have. You know what I'm saying? That was one of its strong points. Was that? The fact that you could get somebody just at random who's on your friend list, go inside and level match to see if they could sit up here and be around the same, area where you were at story-wise. If they added a story element, that is, to the sequel of Nintendo Land, which would be interesting.
And
You know what I'm saying?
the amiibos.
There you
I
go.
would say that would be the perfect way to do it.
And then using that, like I said, like we were saying before, using the amiibos as a way of bringing, different elements of all the games that you play and all the experience that you accumulate in your amiibos to that Nintendo Land sequel.
I'll be happy if they just make it DLC.
There you
Everybody already has Nintendo Land.
go. There you go. But that would be kind of hard to sit up there and pull off with a little bit of space that they sat up there and allocated for, the flash, storage space that they have. Because a lot of people don't want to go out there and buy a hard drive. I don't know why. It's not that hard to sit up here and pluck down a good $60 or so for external storage.
Nintendo needs to go ahead and make one. I hate to say it, but they need to go ahead and make one because people. If you can't buy it at the store with that brand on it, they act like it don't exist. So there needs to be, just like there were Nintendo branded memory cards. I mean, and Nintendo branded thumb drives and SD cards for the Wii. That's probably what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe in time they'll come up with something, to that effect, and then there you go. Maybe they could make a deal with PDP or something.
Yeah, or they could sell a thumb drive, like a cheap thumb drive with their name on it. That's like, 100 gigs or something like that. So they can sell that for like $50.
Just for a sec, guys.
Okay.
They make a decent profit on it, and I think people will spend $50 for that.
Yeah, I'd agree too. I mean, they'll probably spend a good amount of money, even though I would suggest something more along the lines of maybe a 500 gig, hard drive itself instead of a thumb drive for around that price.
Yeah.
That would be better.
Yeah, to me it would be better too. It's just, I don't know. Some people just, the fact that you're saying hard drive, like people
you gotta simplify it for them.
Yeah.
Just call it external. Just call it external storage. There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that will make them feel more comfortable. Oh my God, it sounds so much less techie that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of soccer moms that buy these systems for people. So.
But that, if you want to push it to the soccer moms, just push this was Wii then, this is Wii U now.
There you go.
Try that marketing approach. There you go.
That's a commercial right there.
And there you go. They can have it for free. There you go. If Nintendo, you watching, you can have that for free. That's what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it works out for them, cool. But like I said, it is what it is. Slowly and steadily, Nintendo's awakening their marketing beast, at least with Mario Kart. So.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, especially with Bayonetta and whatnot coming out, and they're packaging 1 and 2 together, which was a smart move on their part.
Smart.
Very smart move. I mean, that would decide whether or not the fan base deserves the Bayonetta. And I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
something right now. I'm buying me a copy. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna be showing my copy on right there in the vid. I'm gonna show. I'm gonna set up here. There goes my support right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy every game, but I'm definitely buying this one.
And it's funny because Camille was definitely trolling back in the day. He was because fans were like, "Oh, well, can we get Bayonetta 1 on the eShop?" You know, this is before we knew. He was like, "Well, if you really want it, just let Nintendo know." And they were obviously making it at the time. You know, so I thought that was pretty funny.
It was just
they
common
trolled you.
sense. It was common sense. They saw the backlash from even like Mass Effect 3. You gotta
Lord.
imagine they're paying attention to that.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. They don't want to be EA. EA, they just don't have the common sense to sit up here and put out the prequels over there on the system so people can get into the full story, especially
And
something like Mass
still
Effect.
sold like 3 months after the fact. They still sold an entire trilogy for every platform but that one.
Exactly. I mean, be honest with you, they could sit up here and mend many bridges if they were to bring out the trilogy in a proper way, you know, for the Wii U. They would mend so many bridges, you know what I'm saying, with the community as far as Nintendo as a fan base, you know? I could see them mending a lot of bridges if they were to do that. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, that's my opinion right there.
I don't think they're ready, man. I think that's more what it is right there.
Mm.
But that unprecedented partnership.
Yeah, about that.
That unprecedented partnership, I'm telling you. Oh,
We
wow.
must be talking about EA.
Yes, we are.
Your favorite company, Nate?
EA. It's in the game.
Not anymore.
That you bought last year.
Oh, Lord.
And the year before that.
EA stands for educated asses.
Didn't even say they're educated.
I'd say the educated part.
Eccentric?
That could work.
Nah, just extreme. Extreme.
Extreme asses. You're right.
Oh, Lord. But I'm just telling you something right now. Like I said, a lot of these companies, they just got to realize that a lot of the fan base wants to play the previous iterations of your games to feel the whole story. If it's a story-based game, like Mass Effect, and Mass Effect is dependent on previous save states in order to extend the story. You know how that is. You know what I'm saying? When you bring your game saves over, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who got it on PC or whatever platform they played it on, that had the full trilogy and they had all the DLC pretty much, as far as the story DLC, knows that you basically wanted the previous games in order to get the full experience of your character going and progressing to the end. That way you could rage when you see that ending.
Because you know you put all that work in it.
Why waste that time? They wasted all that time on that comic book basically at the beginning of Mass Effect 3 for Wii U. They should have just gave us the damn trilogy. I mean,
Well, they did it for the PS3 also. So I think they just kind of touched it up.
Well, we forget to take into consideration that certain two companies are slipping checks in people's pockets.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Like I said, and that brings us back to the Pearson Large situation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're not going to release your game yet until we say so. It doesn't meet our quality assurance, and so you can't sit here and release it on the other two consoles or to the other two companies. That's stupid, man. I mean, if you want to sit up here and be a butthead and just not have them release, the game on your system, you should have no control or no say if they release it on another company's platform.
Exactly. That's your loss, not theirs.
Not for nothing. That's why you got to be careful what you sign.
I don't understand how that's legal. They don't seem right to me.
But also as well, when you look at the rising cost of development budgets, you'd think you'd want to get your game on as many platforms as possible just so you can make your return.
Exactly. But the thing is, like I said, they just don't think like that. They'd rather sit up here and make the gamers wait and whatever, let them eat cake.
But this is the problem, is that they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because all they do is end up creating a bad taste in the gamers on that, hitting a bad taste in the gamers on that platform's mouth, so that when they are ready to release games on that platform, the fans are just going to turn around and say, well, you was when we needed your games, you wasn't there, so why or when you was putting games out for us, you was putting half-assed ports, so why should we bother?
But that would be their excuse. But we put the game out there, and y'all didn't buy it, even though
Rayman Legends much?
it was an inferior port to the other consoles. But you didn't buy it. You should have been dumb enough to buy our inferior port.
Oh Lord! I'm just telling you something. One of the best ports, really, but that suffered from that was Rayman Legends. You know what I'm saying? They had a couple of extras that was on the Wii U version that wasn't, that you couldn't find elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody talks about it.
Not to mention the use of the gamepad as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the definitive version because all 3 games are 1080p.
Oh Lord!
Couldn't you use Smart Glass?
No.
Yeah. Smart Glass. Yeah.
Don't be a smart ass bringing up Smart Glass.
Oh Lord! But I'm just telling you, whatever happened to Smart Glass? I mean, we don't even see much about that anymore.
Clearly,
I don't know, but
smart.
somebody was bragging about it not too long ago.
Oh Lord!
Well, I think they were talking about that in the Buttercast. I think basically they thought, because of the popularity of smartphones and tablets, that they could get gamers to care about, doing that. But, nobody wants to pick up their cell phone while they're playing the game. I mean, nobody really wants to do that. I think they talked about that in the Buttercast, didn't y'all?
Yeah, because you can't hold both at the same time.
Right.
The Wii U is right there.
It's right there.
You can't hold up a Vita for a second screen experience. What the fuck are you thinking? Like you can't. You can't do it. I'm sorry, excuse my French, but like you could possibly hold a Vita up, right, and use that as the primary controller. But now you're missing daggone L2 and R2.
Mm-hmm.
And L3 and R3.
L3 and R3.
And you might be lagging.
They become touch
you gotta use
and touch screen.
the back of the touch surface or whatever for L3 and R3, I think. But this,
you might have a bit of a lag as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but at least you could take it out your house.
Yeah.
So depending upon your connection, you will have lag.
I mean, come on, dude. It's a 5 gigahertz wireless connection for the Wii U. I'm pretty sure if enough people had 5 gigahertz routers, you could probably do the same damn thing with that. Amplify the signal and make it travel across the damn internets. Yes, you probably could. It would lag like hell, but you could do it.
Mm-hmm. But like I said though, there's just a lot of things that they can do with gaming that, quite honestly, they're just sitting on their hands with, man.
And why should they do it? Because we keep buying this bull crap. So why? What incentive do they have to go out and do this stuff? If we keep buying their yearly ports and their,
What kills me is like you have invested into certain technologies that took a long time to license and make sure that there were no vulnerabilities as far as like copyright protection and stuff like that in. So somebody please tell me why you still can't use joysticks and other third-party peripherals when you move to another system. What the hell is up with that? I mean, USB has been USB since the first Xbox came out, and every system had USB ports. So what is the issue? Why all of a sudden do I need to switch from one USB port to another USB port for another system? Like I have to buy a $200 damn controller to play Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. Why? I mean, things like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So it's a godsend for me when I look at Wii U and it's like all the controllers you got, bring them.
Yeah, that's great.
I can just pick up Wiimotes and do whatever, and that means, so if I bought a Wii U and I didn't buy the classic, the Pro Controller at first, I can just sit down with my son, and if he wants to play, he just pull the Wii remote out and play.
And this is what I don't get, because there were, in the beginning of the Wii U especially, there was a lot of crying about the price. And I'm like, do you know what you get?
Yeah.
Wii U,
nobody knows what you get.
You get to be able to play all your last-gen games, physical copies and digital copies. You get to be able to play video games online for free. The value.
But now you bitch because you can't move saves on an SD card unless you unencrypt SHA-1 on the daggone drive and move it to the other system because you don't want to call Nintendo and have them do it for you, which they will do.
I'm just with this thing is the fact that I'm sorry, but I'm just with this thing like somebody that was like talking when I was in GameStop or something, right? They were like talking about, oh, what should I get? I don't know what I should get. The PS4 or Xbox One or Wii U, blah blah blah. And And then the guy's just like, oh, you should get a PS4 because it has the greatest value ever. And it's just like, I'm just like, I facepalm my face.
It don't come with no game.
I just facepalm.
Well, I mean,
I'm just
greatest
like-
value. I mean, if you wait about 2, 3, 4 years, you might get some really great games.
I mean, and then he's like, oh, but I don't know. I'm thinking about getting a Wii U for for Mario Kart and Smash and Bayonetta, and the guys was like, nah, man. I mean, it's too much money for that stuff. I'm just like, what?
What? But you want him to buy a system for no game?
It's just like, so you think a system with just a system, no backwards compatibility, and the controller, and 30 days of music unlimited is an amazing value over a system that has a game, a really good controller, the console itself, free online, and you could and the thing is you can get even more games for the same price.
Don't even forget the
PS4.
fact that you can move the peripherals that you use, like the
Exactly.
balance board, the nunchuck, the classic controller Pro.
Everything you have.
All that can migrate on over, even the Wiimotes. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be Wiimote with or without Wiimotion Plus.
Yep.
Boom, migrate it on right on over, drag, drop.
They can easily do that, and I have my problem with this is I use my PS4 controller for my PS3 because something happened to the PS3 controller, right? And it's not working well. I'm just gonna say that because I plug it in, right, and I'm in my game. It works fine. It actually works fine with the games and everything, except for Kingdom Hearts for some reason. And I'm playing, but when you want to go to the home menu, right, when you just press the PlayStation button, it doesn't do it. It does not do it. You have to, in order to go back, you have to eject the game or turn off the system and turn it back on just to go back to the home menu. And, that sucks for people who, don't have that kind of controller, right? They don't have like, they have a PS4 controller. And they basically plan on using it for the PS3. And, of course, with the PS3 controller, you can't use it for the PS4 because, of course, no backwards compatibility at all. So that's just the great thing about the Wii U is that you can use everything that you bought for the Wii on the Wii U. And you can play any games that you got for the Wii on the Wii U. And transfer any of the data you have on the Wii to the Wii U.
Are you sure about that? I think that's malarkey, my friend.
Wait, what?
Don't mind me, keep going.
You know what?
Oh, I got you.
You know what? This is the problem with a lot of gamers today, and this is why when you get so many, a lot of Nintendo fanboys, you keep on trying to find a way to make the Wii U sell better and stuff like that. And I just say, you know what? Let the Wii U sell to who it needs to sell to at the end of the day.
Like the GameCube, because it didn't bother me that the GameCube sold 23 million. Like,
exactly.
I still had great games to play.
Honestly, I had no clue the GameCube was a failure until about 2 years ago. I was just
still
watching
wasn't
the
a
games.
failure because it made the most profit.
Exactly.
Right. That failure thing is always really subjective because it still turned a great profit for Nintendo. So who did it fail?
And it had
Here's
the
the other
highest
thing,
attachment
too.
rate out of any. It has the highest attachment rate out of any console in history.
Yeah,
Exactly.
What is
What
it, like
console?
10, 11 games or something like that?
10 to 1.
Exactly. What console out there is going to sell, 22 million and still have games that sell 8, 9 million copies? Come on.
Exactly.
100. Well, what was it? So that 200 million pieces of software. So the podcast you was listening to, Mr. T, when you say you listen to
That was a
Butterworth last
Butterworth, yeah.
that epic, almost 4-hour long podcast. Yeah, it was. It was
crazy.
So the main thing that we was thinking about was like, how can people, like, I'm not gonna name drop people, but how can revered people in the industry, badmouth Nintendo as not a money making machine when they have sold the most games in the industry, period. And we started tallying the stuff up, and we was just doing it for shits and giggles. We knew it was a lot, But when we started looking at it and adding it up from the NES till now, not even counting the money they made when they were third party making Atari games, so and arcade games. So we just counted from NES to now to Wii U, right? Dude,
Yeah. Oof.
Well, you got
like
you got
5
remember.
billion pieces of software.
Well, you got to remember since what's it called 2005, they had hit 2 billion pieces of software for their console and handheld business, and you know when you factor in that Iwata basically added even considerably more numbers compared to what Yamauchi done within the 6 console generations that he had. It's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. Like,
No, it shouldn't be. What's surprising is people tend to ignore what they want to ignore, and they say, "Oh, well, it's just a fact." Well, just a fact based on what? You know? Oh, well, you know, it isn't as powerful. Really? Show me the numbers. Oh, well, people are just saying it is. Oh, well, you know, this engine. What about the engine can't be done? Oh, well, you know, the Cry engine is really strong. It runs fine on Wii U because Sonic is running that game. Oh, well, this other game can't run because of no, really, what's the real excuse, bro? Just tell the truth.
well,
And that's the thing. People still misinformed. My brother came over to visit, and he was amazed by how powerful the Wii U is. He was like, "I didn't know they could do that." I'm like,
yeah, he thought it was another Wii, probably.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they do show you the numbers. They show you 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, Lord.
You know, they killing me, man. Because you know, it even surprised my son because you know when he first saw Nintendo Land and stuff like that, he's like, okay, yeah, because it's kind of simplistic and stuff like that. But you could see clearly that there are certain things that we couldn't do, and even just by having those extra pixels on screen, certain effects just really stood out. Like you knew that it was a basic feature of the hardware. Like global illumination is in almost every Nintendo game. They're gonna do it by default. So you're gonna see dynamic shadows, and you're gonna see a global infinite sunlight, or sunbeam, whatever you want to call it, and it affects the entire atmosphere. So if you make it cloudy, it changes the way the light is underneath the clouds. It changes the way the shadows are cast all the time. So if something flies around, it's not a pre-baked shadow.
And even a game as basic as Nintendo Land still has dynamic night and day.
Yeah, and it changes, and the shadows change. They're not pre-baked shadows. I mean, if anybody's seen Watch Dogs, it's got issues. Let's put it that way. It has issues. It looks really great at nighttime because there's nothing bouncing light around.
Let me jump in here real quick, fellas. I gotta bow out right now, so I didn't want to just bounce and you know.
Oh, okay.
Say goodbye. A lot of y'all already know today's my birthday, so thank everybody who wished me happy birthday. So
I told you happy birthday before we got live. I don't think you heard me.
Oh yeah, I did. I thanked you. I don't think you heard me.
Happy.
But, I'm out of here, fellas. It was a good, I had a good time. So I'll see y'all next time.
Special day, my friends. Take care, bro.
Have a very shadow birthday.
Enjoy plenty of jelly and syrup.
Oh man.
I don't get out like that, but all right.
I'll make sure to drink some peach brandy for him.
I prefer syrup.
I think some of these people who seem to think they understand technology very well and they don't understand the thing, I think they need to watch our little Mythbuster Shadow Fox.
Yeah, we probably need to do another one.
I think you should do another one.
More. Yeah, we have to do one that's like just straight up point blank. Like, I think this. Do you really? No, this is the real deal.
Yeah, there you go. That would be an interesting podcast to see and see how much rage everybody gets out of it.
I was trying to do it with like 2 other people, man, and then somebody else, like, quote unquote, I won't say challenged me, but said that they were willing to get on. And I mean, Thursday came and went.
Oh Lord!
Which reminds me, since I got all you guys here, I wanted to do it soon, probably on my channel. Maybe we could do it on a separate Gamers at Large.
Okay.
I brought this up before. I want to bring it up again. We need to start addressing these misconceptions more about how people perceive gamers, etc. There's a lot of people thinking the wrong things about us, and I think that's partially affecting because a lot of people are afraid to just be themselves. They're like, well, if I let people know I play or whatever, people are
Well,
gonna see me a certain way.
well,
It's
see, this is the thing, and this is why earlier on I stated that the Wii U will sell who it needs to sell to, and I don't really worry about the sales or Nintendo trying to appeal to those people.
Oh,
Nintendo.
it's not really Wii U related, but I
I,
mean,
I,
you could
I
put it
know,
in there.
but I'm just saying in terms of like in relation to like the whole Wii U thing and everything. But it's just like at the end of the day, if you're a person and you call yourself a so-called gamer, and you feel you need to you feel you need to play certain games just to follow a certain trend or whatever, or play a certain console just to follow a certain trend, and deprive yourself of a great experience regardless of what platform it is on, then in all honesty, you shouldn't be playing video games, period, let alone the Wii U. And
exactly.
that's why
Mhm.
I say I'm not worried about who the Wii U sells to. Wii U will sell to who it needs to sell to, and Nintendo will still make their profit, and they'll still be around. They are not going anywhere. They have a business model where even if they sell a low number of consoles, their software will sell at the end of the day, because it's not a thing where it's not a thing like a PlayStation where it will sell to 50 million people, but yet
Grand
the
Theft
game
Auto.
sales but yet the highest game sales are from third party or whatever, and the first party game sales hardly anyone buys them. When you have a Nintendo console, nearly every first party game that comes out sells and sells in high numbers. Like the attachment rate for software, even the attachment rate for software on the Wii U right now is at least, well, when I from last year it was 5 to 1. Now I'm
It's
sure it's
close
at
to
least
6.
7 to 1.
It's around 6 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's only going
Mm.
to increase
it's
as the
gonna get
years go
higher.
on.
Yep.
I mean,
Like
I
when
know I own quite a few games. I know that myself that is above that amount. So yeah,
Oh,
Well,
and
actually,
I'm not even including
everybody
the Wii
here.
games. That's right,
I mean,
straight to you.
it might
I
go
mean,
down because more people are buying the console now, so it may
Hmm.
go down a little bit this year.
I mean, even when you look at when the console launched, I mean, look at the attachment rate for New Super Mario Brothers U and the Wii U.
2 million copies.
Hmm.
Exactly, and they sold what 3 million Wii U's in that launch period. So that's at least 2/3 of the install
Over
base buying that
over
game.
60%.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That shows it's doing a lot better than most people can even recognize right now. You know,
No other first party game has done that.
It's
hmm
still the highest selling eighth generation game that's out there.
Uh, Mario Kart's gonna surpass that real soon if it hasn't already.
Yeah. Well, it's
uh,
going to eventually anyway,
It
because
hasn't surpassed it, but yeah, I won't be surprised if it does soon.
Mario
Mario
hmm
Kart
Kart's
is an
already passed
evergreen
2 million
game.
sales.
Like Mario Kart is an evergreen game, just like New Super Mario Brothers is, but Mario Kart sells at a faster rate,
hmm
and
Hmm.
it's still long standing. So it's gonna be $60 3 years from now.
I could see that. I don't see the price going down anytime soon because of the fact that it has staying power. You know what I'm saying? It has serious staying power as far as like the way they sell. That's why a lot of Nintendo games don't lose their value. You know what I'm saying? Over a period of time. But if you notice, a lot of third-party titles will lose their value after a given point.
Oh, after
Let me.
after a week,
I,
Hmm.
especially on
trust
the
me.
other platforms, it's 1 week.
Mm,
Yep, they
I,
lose their value very easily.
I mean,
mm,
even Grand Theft Auto is starting to get that way now. Like it'll come out and everybody will buy it on that one day, and it'll just trickle off. See it anymore. It may come back and sell like 50,000 copies or 100,000 copies the next 3 months or whatever, and then it'll trail back off again. Like it won't continuously stay on the top 20 like Mario Kart would.
I mean,
yeah.
look at Mario Kart DS. Mario Kart DS is only 9 years old, and it's not that far off its original price.
Mm,
There are certain games, like Madden games tend to sell pretty well for a long time too, but it's for a shorter period of time because they're annual. Now,
mm-hmm.
so you could theoretically say that EA has a continual money stream, and it's probably the longest selling franchise. But considering that it's just one game per console generation, and whenever one comes out, it sells like the most over the longest period of time, and it takes the longest time for it to get a price drop. It's Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's Mario Kart. The only thing that came close to it was what Wii Fit.
Mm. And Wii Fit did gangbusters. To be honest with you, that shocked me. To be
Even
telling you the truth.
even Grand Theft Auto these days gets a price cut, and that's when people start buying it again. But
Mm.
I mean, it even gets a price cut. It's not $60 for 3 years.
Hmm. I remember how quick Tomb Raider dropped in price. That was ridiculous.
Man, that game was $20
I was
before what,
mad. I
within
bought
what,
that at
4 months?
launch.
Mhm.
Ah,
What you mean? You mean QuickTime Event Raider?
yeah. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it for what it was. I
Tomb
mean,
Raider,
it
you
wasn't
talk about the one in 2013. That was a good game, man. Don't be
It was
bad
like
game.
it
Nah,
was
it's a
like
good.
Shenmue mixed with Batman Arkham Asylum mixed with Tomb Raider.
Nah, don't get me
Uncharted.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have the game on my PC and I played it. It's a good game, but I just can't stand all the QuickTime events. They just overdid it.
Well,
That-
yeah,
that
I
is-
don't think those
I
fit. I don't think those fit well for
Problems
PC
are with
either.
QuickTime events.
I found the QuickTime events annoying after a while.
yeah, at first it was cool.
Not me.
because it
You know
felt
what I
you
like
was
about
into
them
the
is it
game
brings
more,
a sense of cinematic feel to a game. I like that cinematicness. So.
But you got to do them right though. Like it's got to be like Resident Evil 4. You got to do it right. It
Exactly.
can't just be like, hey, hit this button or you're gonna die.
At least Resident Evil 4, they had like a little panache and flair. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and they
saying?
gave you
know.
time.
I especially love the way they troll people in that game. Go ahead and shoot the lake. I dare you. Oh man, but like I said though, as far as these games are concerned, they got to try to shake things up a little bit. They depended too much on the QTEs. You got to admit that it was like playing. Let me see, what was that one game from like Heavy Rain? It was like playing Heavy Rain almost. It got to that almost to that point.
I really like Heavy Rain though.
I like
But
Heavy Rain for the story though.
Yeah, it was even though the controls were kind of like tank like, it was still different, and they deliberately made it that way so you can make sure that you looked at everything and you made all the decisions you need to make the first time. And it was, I don't know. To me, I thought that was more of an I truly think that was a mature adult game, like through and through. I don't think a kid would even find that remotely fun.
I definitely agree with you there, though, because I remember we had the family watch the thing just because the story was engrossing, but I just couldn't stand, how overboard they went with a lot of the QTEs, and depending on too many combinations, were a little awkward. You know what I'm saying? They were a little physically awkward when you actually use the controls like that, especially for me because I have problems with my hands. So.
And some of the 6-axis stuff was kind of off too. You actually had to do some 6-axis stuff.
Some of it was a little bit imprecise as far as the detection. But all in all, it was a decent experience for what it was story-wise. The only thing is they kind of jumped the shark with the storyline with one particular character. I'm not going to get into it because I don't know how many people have actually gotten the chance to play Heavy Rain. If you haven't, pick it up. You probably get it for $20 now. Yeah. If not less.
And if you got a PSN, I think the DLC is still free too, so you can download the whatever the name of that DLC was. It happened right before the game started.
Yeah. Dude, that game was just full on retarded though. With some of the scenes, it was a little bit intense. Like you were saying,
the taxidermist. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the taxidermist.
Yeah. That was kind of sick though. Yeah. You're talking about a fucked up environment. I'm sorry. That game.
Yeah, I hear you. But anywho, does anybody else have any other topics? We got time for one more.
I got one quick topic. Well, what do you lot think about? I don't know if this has been discussed already, but what do you lot think about Iwata's re-election?
Oh, we've touched on it a bit. We're basically joked around a little bit about it.
Yeah, we troll people.
The bottom line is, I'm glad he got reelected because I could see the direction that he's going for. It's not going to have immediate results. It needs time to be nurtured. What he's trying to do for the company. And I give it about another year, and he'll have the Wii U where it needs to be, going on track, and even improve upon what the 3DS is doing. You know what I'm saying? But he needs to give Reggie a little bit more, wiggle room to work in the States as far as, trying to figure out what appeals to the United States as a whole and South America, and other parts of North America like Canada. see what appeals to these gamers in this area as a whole. That's a little bit different than what you would expect out of like what Europe likes and what Japan likes. Because we don't all we don't all sit up here and carbon copy like the same thing usually. There's different genres. They may appeal more to certain areas than others, and even you might have a niche audience that may have an appeal. They may have an appeal towards a particular type of genre, such as visual novels, like I've brought up many times. Visual novels are very popular in Japan, but not popular in the States. But I can see a niche being grown inside the States that they can look for. You know what I'm saying? To grow that genre.
That just made me think about something. I'm starting to think that whole NCL must have a clinch hold over NOA, and I started thinking about it with a purpose at this point. Because for a while, Owada was letting Reggie do his own thing for a minute, but it was only because something else was in place. And that was Parent Kaplan, because she was like right behind him she was the VP at one point in time, but then she ended up being the VP when he became president. And then she left. When she left because she didn't want to move, Cammy Dunaway came in. Where's Cammy now? Who replaced Cammy? There's a VP, but where are they? Have we seen them?
But I do think
Reggie's doing it all by himself right now.
I do think we're starting to see Owata kind of more look into like Western trends and stuff like that. I mean, he's starting to put a lot of heavy competition in a lot of the games. You're starting to see a lot of heavy competitive aspects in the games that, he's bringing out for the Wii U and even in the 3DS, and also you're starting to see Nintendo put a lot more emphasis on advertising those, promoting those competitive aspects and so on.
Because that's where the money is, and that's why they've been launching their consoles first here now.
But at the same time, I do think Iwata does need to be careful in how he embraces certain Western trends, because it like the way the media is and the way a lot of gamers are today, it's like we wouldn't want them to end up being in I know it's not going to happen with Nintendo, but you wouldn't want them to end up being in a position that Sega was in back in the day, or be in a similar position to how Sony is going right now, where the reputation is more important than your bottom line at the end of the day. Whereas right now Nintendo has that focus where the business is more important than the image and the reputation at the moment. And I think that's where, in terms of embracing the West, that Nintendo has to be careful, because one thing about the Western world is that image seems to play a big role in everything, not just gaming, and a lot of times it can be at the detriment of your bottom line at the end of the day.
A little bit. $8 billion between PS3 and Xbox 360. Since 2007 or 2008, and they hit it. They hit it really well every quarter.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Hey, look at these Windows Mobile profits. They sure are down. Yeah, is illusion in there too?
Yeah. Well, I guess we hit on all the topics that we can hit on for this evening. What do you gents think?
Yeah, pretty well. There's some other stuff. There's some other news that came out during the week, but none of it is really nothing really
earth-shattering.
Yeah,
we're still in that calm after E3, so it's the news is going to be slow, and plus it's summertime as well. People don't want to worry about gaming news. They just want to go outside or get a summer job.
I just go on the internet and I read yet another article about Forza 5.
What's outside?
What's outside? This is that place you go to get Street Pass hits.
Let's see. There's basketball.
I heard they had like trees, grass, and sun.
Sorry. Oh man, you been outside?
You go outside, you find the right place, you get snow cones.
It's where you find out that the world isn't as grey as how they portray it in Call of Duty. There is actually some color.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
For a second there, you got me confused. The world, the real world with Fallout.
Lord, no, let's not do that.
Like I like to say, I went outside once. The graphics was awesome, but the AI sucked.
Okay, then. So I guess we could sit up here and wrap it up and do our sign-offs. All right, we're gonna sit up here and start it from my left going to my right. We're gonna start with Micah. Micah, do your thing.
Well, I came in this podcast late, but it was good overall. I got to, it was good. It was good being back. I've been away for a while, but that's because I've been busy and everything. But I'm gonna try and keep up and be a bit more consistent. But thank you, Quan, for bringing me in. And as usual, as I say to people, play your games, enjoy your games, and just have fun. Peace.
There you go. All right. Up next is Games Rosa, who's getting yelled at in the background. I guess.
What you doing, Rosa?
What can you say, Spanish? But anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining in on this episode of Gamers at Large. Make sure to tune in to everybody here, and yeah, have some great stuff coming in, because I finally got this thing to work. So I got my computer back. So I'm getting my computer back tonight. So yeah, like I always say, don't lose your way. Don't be afraid. Just game till the end. Peace.
There you go. And up next we got Letters, aka Andre. Do your thing. Letters, you there?
He's
Letters.
probably battling his kids again.
GVGINU.
Exactly. That's why I call them levers. That's why I call them letters. All right.
GVGINU. You there?
Yeah, he's asleep. So we'll go back to the next one. Jamie, do your thing, bro.
Yo, guys. It was fun. Check out my channel. Butterworthy. So on and so forth. Peace.
Okay. Now that's Butterworthy.
That's true. I'm Butterworthy.
All right. Now let's go back to Andre. Andre, do your thing.
I'm sorry, people. My net just died on me a second ago, so I couldn't say anything.
All right.
So, yep.
Okay.
This is the part where you sign out.
Good night on him again.
That's the best way to sign out. Just vanish.
You don't sign out, your internet signs out for you.
Okay. So I guess we're going to go up next with Nate. Nate, do your thing.
All I can say is Peggle is freaking addicting. It's been a blast, and I'll catch y'all next Sunday.
Oh, well, actually, the Sunday after next. That's how we do it.
Okay, Sunday after next.
All right.
I've been playing Peggle since I talked to her, and it's just freaking epic. So.
Now Peggle's the business.
Oh, I agree. You did. I agree with you there, because they gave it away for free over the EA, being nice.
You gotta jump for joy for Peggle 2, man.
All right. Coming up next, we're going up with Shep. Shep, do your thing.
What's going on, people? This is Good Shepherd. Hopefully, y'all guys enjoyed the podcast. I'll be making more videos. But I must warn you, real life and video games take precedence over making videos. So, yeah.
There you go. And up next, we got Zen, the Zen Man. Do your thing.
All right, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of fell asleep.
Thank you. You're a junkie.
You're doing that Mario Kart crack.
Yeah, I kind of woke up at some point. I can't remember what we were talking about at that, but I kind of chimed in at the end. Going over to the ZGZ. If you like it, stay. Whatever. But I'm kind of tired. I can't do the long thing right now. Let's move on.
Okay, and now you see why I shortened the whole intro thing. I was trying to give people time to be awake. Summertime kicks you behind. Anywho, last and maybe least, according to some of y'all, but whatever's clever, it's going to be me, Kwame Chu, the QMC, and yeah, I guess we out.
Check out the Gamer Idea Foundry. Triplus Johnson was on.
Shut up, I'm out.
I'm Peter Moore, giving you the